So most disabled dancers are one-trick ponies. I think there is a grain of truth in that, possibly, because I'm rehearsing 3 different pieces at the moment and notice that my movement is very similar in all 3. It's different, but it's quite similar. And I have watched other dancers that I work with, and if they're self-generated, it is quite similar for them as well. So I don't think this is unique to disabled dancers. And I also think if you look at other art forms, for example, if you look at Anthony Gormley, for example, he just studies the body. Every piece of work that he produces is about the body. And I think he is more, or as much of a one-trick pony as any dancer is, really. So I don't know where it goes. I think it has the potential to be bollocks and to have a grain of truth. Somewhere in the middle.
I think it's just one of these things that it's sometimes more pronounced, rather than that you are limited to certain things. I think it's just that sometimes it's more obvious, and what habitual movement or what your favourite kind of vocabulary is. It becomes really accented by the fact that somebody never uses their legs, or always has crutches and makes all their work about crutches. I think it's that it becomes accentuated.
Yeah.
And I also wonder whether or not it's about that thing of, if there's a disabled dancer on the stage, chances are they're going to stand out more. So even if you see a series of work, you might be more drawn to that than you are to other dancers. So it might become more evident that it looks quite similar. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, I actually think they're coming quite deep in that. I remember the Italian piece that they're moving on performing, and the guy in the piece who kept going on his back, I get really angry towards the end, and I said, right, well, can you do that a 40 times? Get over it, move on. But I think this one quite deep rooted in that when you go and see a Scottish dance theatre piece bring on the table dancers, you assume that they're all qualified, trained professional dancers. When you go and see a disabled dancer or performer on stage, I think even for me, I would say, I'm looking for proof that they've got a right to be there, that they are able to call themselves an actor, a dancer, whatever. And because you're looking for that proof, you're saying, well, if you keep doing the same movement, you're not really a dancer. I think even that's some sort of paranoia we've got about, we have to prove that we've got a right to be here.
There's a lot of challenges that he's actually had with that organisation that he worked with through that piece as a dancer. He's now actually left that organisation. He's trying to go solo and work in other ways because there was so many challenges. There's somebody that came in out with and choreographed on them, and he wanted to push his movement more, but it was being stopped. So there's a lot of things that obviously behind the scenes he's been fighting with. Because he did say himself, he says, I can do that movement so many times, and he's wanting to see himself as a danceability performer and teacher within society.
But it's just that thing of having to prove what we can do. Like a non-disabled dancer, I don't know, but a premium wouldn't feel that sense of proving themselves. Maybe they would.
And I think it does, well, I think that's a really good point about it so depends who's making the work. And is it being self-generated, or is it coming from someone outside of yourself, and therefore are there limitations? Are they not taking you as far as you could possibly go? Because I know that I've felt like that in the past when people have choreographed on me, just like, but I can do so much more than this. But it's kind of like, this is safe and this is comfortable, and I think it comes down to confidence in choreographers or artistic directors in terms of how far they will go. Because I look at someone like Liv Laurent, who has choreographed on Scottish Dance Theatre before, and Liv's big thing is that she will push people completely to the limit of what they can do and ask them to do unreasonable things but the dancers somehow manage to do it because she will take them to that extreme. Like, stand there with your arms out straight with someone lying across your arms for as long as you can, just to see what happens to the body. To see what happens is interesting to watch. How hard is it? And it's just like, no one would necessarily expect that to come at them, but they will be pushed. And I still think that that's a big issue for me as a disabled dancer, is that I think people won't. It's so much about me being confident enough to go, you can push me further. I can do more than this. And I think that takes a lot of, it takes a build-up of trust and confidence and all those sorts of things to kind of get to that point.
Yeah, but there's not often an opportunity to work with someone long enough to actually get to a point where you can get past, okay, these are the tricks that I do.
These are the same.
You know, these are the, you know, because I kind of feel like I have that kind of thing a little bit of, people get really fascinated by all the kind of trick elements of what's possible. And yeah, you kind of, if I'm trying to introduce myself to a choreographer and show them, okay, this is some of the range of vocabulary, it's hard to get past that, you know, and kind of create any depth or take me into something new, like you were saying, makes you stay in this one trick pony kind of mentality. But it's also just, for me as well, it's still also about pushing. I'm still learning how much further I could go, so it's kind of hard, to have somebody push me when I'm not even sure how far I'm willing to go yet, or you know where the boundaries are, the limitations are.